Alright guys, and welcome to another video, and today we are talking about Resident Evil 2 Remake. I'm excited for the game, not excited as I was for Resident Evil 2 when that originally came out. You know, Resident Evil 2, the original game, which I got when it first came out. I actually think, if I'm not mistaken, I think that Resident Evil 2 Remake is being released on the same date that the original Resident Evil 2 was on. I think, and it was sometime in January. I can't remember the date because the original Resident Evil was supposed to come out. Resident Evil 2 was supposed to come out in '97, December, but it got delayed until January. I remember I was pissed, but anyways, the game looks pretty good. I knew when I was watching the trailer and I saw the rat, I knew immediately it was Resident Evil 2 because the rat is the carrier of the virus. Now, as far as how the game looks and how it plays, I was hoping for the fixed camera angles. I was looking for something more on the level of a Resident Evil remake, you know, the remake on the GameCube. I wanted something like that. I would have been totally fine with it. I guess I understand why they didn't go with that. Not really. I wanted them to go with something like that. But the way the game looks, it could possibly be just as good or even scarier the way it plays out, the camera angle. So we'll see. I'm not really too hyped for it. You know, I'm not gonna lose sleep over it or, you know, all that good stuff. I'm not gonna be doing a whole bunch of footage on it, but it looks pretty solid. It looks definitely, to me, it looks better than Resident Evil 7. I wasn't really into Resident Evil 7 that much. You know, as soon as the two Bakers were out of it, Margaret Baker and Jack Baker, I was pretty much like, I don't know what to say about this game. But other than that, though, I'm glad that Resident Evil 2 Remake is being done, even though I mean, to be honest, Resident Evil 2 is the only Resident Evil game it really didn't need a remake. To be honest, this game was damn near perfect in my opinion. The way the scenarios play out, you know, the A and B scenario for each character. So there's 4 different ways you can play the game. I mean, and what was great about Resident Evil, the original Resident Evil 2, was that a lot of people were spoiling it in magazines, but they didn't know about the second scenario really. In the second scenario, which is the second time you play the game as the other character, their vision of the story, man, that's where all the surprises happen. And when I talk about surprises, I talk about Mr. X. Mr. X was the one that made me, I was so terrified of him because, you know, in Resident Evil, when you play in Resident Evil 2 for the first time, you're not knowing, you know, your ammo is kind of limited because you don't know what to shoot, like what you need to take care of. I'm shooting everything and making sure I don't have to run into nothing. So ammo is really scarce. So as soon as I see Mr. X, you know, I think I took him down the first time and I almost died, and then I saw the cinematic of him getting up and I was like, what the hell? Like, this guy looks weird. Cause I'm thinking he's a real person at first, but then as I look at his face when he's getting up, I said, wow, he looks like the tyrant from the first game. So anyway, after that, I go to the second. I think I was the room later in the game. In that scenario, you go to the room, the news conference room, where you light the faucets. And I have surround sound in my game room back when I was at my mom's house. Not my game room, my regular room. And when you light those faucets and you go get and the gear falls out of the wall and you go and try to go get it, Mr. X he just burst through the wall. And that sound effect is so brutal and loud, it scared the shit out of me. I mean, I was terrified. I mean, I ran out of there. I got that piece. It ran out of that room. I said, man, we can't deal with this guy, man. We have no help. We had no weapons there because I was running low. And then I get around the corner, burst through the wall again. You know, I was like, dude, man, what is going on here? You know, and I ran from him then. And of course, when you get to the clock tower, the tower thing where you put the gear in, I think it's a clock tower. I can't remember what that room was, the attic or whatever. You put the gear and grab your piece. Then you're exiting that part. Again, Mr. X comes out on the banister, jumps up in front of you. I was like, dude, at that point, I was ready to give up, man. I was like, dude, man, what the hell are we going to do? This guy's going to keep following us? It was terrifying. And I'll never forget how, even how I'm saying it's terrifying, how great that was, you know, for a survival horror game, you know, to make you like, whoa, dude, like, seriously. So why I'm talking about that is because in the trailer, I saw Mr. X, and they actually used some of his designs from Resident Evil 1.5, because I remember how Mr. X was originally supposed to look. He was supposed to have a gas mask, a weapon that he uses, and he had his trench coat, of course, or whatever that is. And he looked fantastic, but they changed him for Resident Evil 2. So I see that they gave him back his fedora hat for Resident Evil from Resident Evil 1.5, the sketch. They gave him his fedora hat, and I'm really want to see what they do with Mr. X, because he was my favorite character, enemy villain in Resident Evil 2. And one thing I want to say is that a lot of the changes that they took from him, they added to other games. Like they gave Nemesis a weapon in Resident Evil 3. They gave him the rocket launcher, and they also the gas mask that he originally wore in the sketch. Because I believe it was supposed to be for like him gassing rooms that you're in, so you would like he'd come in and get you, and like your health would be running low, or he would gas you out of a room so he could chase you out of it or whatever. I guess the developers might have thought that was too hard, but they did add that into Resident Evil Outbreak Fallout 2 in the police station, because the rooms get gassed, and you stay in there too long, you start to lose health, and you could actually fix the rooms. But I think they probably thought that whole thing was too hard for Resident Evil 2, so they took it out. Other things with Resident Evil 2 that I can think of, so I love the way Ada's look. I wanted her to look like a scientist. I always thought the red dress thing was kind of like, what the hell? But now she looks like a scientist. You see, even though they only show the silhouette of her, you see her in the background. She got the high heels on, looks sexy. That's scientist and everything. And I think that she's gonna have. I don't know if she's gonna have the same type of role in this game. I would love to see they would use the 1.5 angle that they were gonna use for Ada. It looks like they're going that route with Marvin too, but Marvin seems like he's seriously injured, which is crazy. So, seriously injured. He needs medical attention pretty much in this new game, but he's not in the shape he was in the regular Resident Evil 2 game, where he was about to pretty much turn into a zombie. In the Resident Evil 2 gameplay trailer they showed, or just people playing the game, they showed a police officer that was finding an exit for Marvin. That could be actually DJ, where DJ was one of the characters that got scrapped from 1.5, that got injured in Resident Evil 1.5. So that might be cool if his name is DJ, which is cool. I could be wrong about that. I'm just kind of like thinking about a lot of stuff. Resident Evil 1.5, I really wanted to play that game because that was the one I was really looking for information on back in the day when I was reading Game Fan magazine. That's the one I really saw mostly, was 1.5. Then Resident Evil 2 disappeared, and then next thing you know, we get the new version, which we come to know and love today. Resident Evil 2, one fantastic game. I mean, honestly, this game doesn't need to be remade, but if this Resident Evil 2 doesn't really live up to the hype, I mean, we still got this one. This one is still just as great. It hasn't aged badly. I mean, yeah, I was playing it last night, and it was still great. I prefer Leon's scenario over Claire's because I like Leon. I think Leon gets better weapons. But it's still a solid game. My actual favorite Resident Evil game is actually Resident Evil 3. Even though I consider Resident Evil 2 the best, Resident Evil 3 is my favorite for reasons I'll go into another video, because I actually plan on doing a Horror Insider show with Josh about all the Resident Evils up to this point. We're going to try to put a show together for you guys, so I will save the talk for that video. But as far as Resident Evil 2 Remake, I think it's great that it's being made. Hopefully Capcom, this is where it gets kind of flimsy. Capcom is kind of like, how they kind of do minimal work, and then they try to I won't say minimal work, but they'll take stuff out of the game and then try to sell it to you as DLC. I really hope they don't do that with this game. They did it with Resident Evil 7, which, the videotapes and all that stuff. That should have been a part of the first experience in the main campaign, because when you play these games, it's really about your first experience with it. I mean, that's the one you're going to remember the most, how you felt and what happened in what you played. You're not gonna, if you play a game and they take content out of it, we got DLC now, you're gonna, it's just DLC. It's not a part of that main first experience you had with the game, so it really sucks. That's why I'm always on Capcom. They always try to I feel like they try to do minimal, man, when it comes to stuff. Even the Street Fighter V whole fiasco, where I didn't want to go into that, but with Resident Evil 7. They didn't put all the content on the Gold Edition because they released a Gold Edition for Resident Evil 7, and there was still a download code for it with one of the expansions or DLCs, which is stupid, because when you have a Gold Edition, it should all be on the disc, embedded on the disc. But I just hope that they don't go do that route with Resident Evil 2. I hope they really put everything into this game, because, like I said, our first experience is going to be the best one, and I just really hope they don't mess around, because Capcom, for too long, man, they've been trying to bone the people who support them, man, and it's horrible, man. I mean, I can't believe they some of their tactics they've done in the past. Do you guys remember the Street Fighter X Tekken DLC on disc? And they tried to say, this is a way so you want to download a big patch. Horrible. We know what you guys are doing. But anyways, I don't want to go into that. That's a whole nother video. Let's celebrate Resident Evil 2 Remake. Am I pumped up for it? Somewhat. You know, I am older now, so I don't get like too excited that much because they gotta impress me. You know, it's been too long since they impressed me. Resident Evil 2 Remake will be out January 19th, and right now it's June 20th. This is what I'm doing this video. And if that game does well, which I know it will do well, and I already heard that Resident Evil 3 Remake is on the books. You know, that would be a great remake. I mean, I would be excited for that. I would be more excited for Resident Evil 3 Remake because Resident Evil 3 was a bit shorter than Resident Evil 2, so that one could add some features on it. Like they could add some stuff onto that one, which would be great. So let me know if you guys are excited about Resident Evil 2 Remake. Resident Evil, that name just really sells any. You put Resident Evil on any game and it just sells it. You know what I mean? So everybody's really pumped up for it. I'm trying to get pumped up for it, but we'll see. They gotta impress me with some more stuff. We'll see how it goes. But let me know what you guys think about the game. Resident Evil 2, I consider it the best in the franchise, but it's not my favorite. Yeah, that's all I have to say about it, guys. So anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. I think I hit all the points I wanted to talk about in this video. Ada, Marvin, DJ, Leon, Claire. Oh, one more thing. So with Leon and Claire, instead of going with the A and B scenario like they did with Resident Evil 2, where they're gonna have one main campaign for the both of them. So they're gonna be seeing more of each other in the campaign, which wasn't really a lot. They didn't see each other a lot in the first Resident Evil 2 game. You saw her in the beginning, in the beginning of the place of the police station, in the sewer, and then in the laboratory, and it seemed really brief when you guys met up with each other. But anyways, guys, that's all I have for this video, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.
Oh, man. Who are you? Oh, you must be the new guy. Leon. Sorry, but it looks like your party has been cancelled. What happened? About 2 months ago, there was this incident involving zombies in a mansion located in the outskirts of this city. Chris and the other STARS members discovered that Umbrella was behind everything. They risked their lives to reveal the truth, but no one believed them. Not long after that, all this started to happen. Easy there. I don't think I'm going to make it. Leon, if I die, you have to shoot me in the head. If you don't, I'll become one of them. You can't let that happen. Don't talk like that. Hey!